Move on to next is something really exciting. So that's the Stakehouse liquid staking derivative networks. So LSDs are, in this case, built on top of the Stakehouse protocol. That is, if you saw the keynote, that is the Stakehouse protocol, is the restaking protocol where you can restake your consensus layer assets onto the Ethereum execution layer as a debt position that allows atomic redeemability on the smart contract without any intermediaries, without any oracles, without any bridges. So let's sort of figure out what LSD means in the context of Stakehouse. It'll be very familiar in some respects and in others a bit different, but what I would like to say is that it is offering permissionless fractionalized validator ownership. So as per what we said in the keynote, we never compromise on the ownership of users' assets. You own some part of a validator, which is really, really interesting. So I'd like to invite onto the stage Manul, who's actually going to go a bit deeper into what is liquid staking, what it means on top of the Stakehouse protocol.
Hey guys, I'm Manul. Thanks, Vince, for the introduction. So let's see what Stakehouse LSD does mean here. So basically with Stakehouse, you'll be able to register your validators, deposit it, and basically put 32 ethers into the Ethereum deposit contract via the Stakehouse protocol. But that basically is for the solo stakers. So in order to scale it a bit more, we came up with this idea of liquid staking derivative networks. Basically, you will be able to deploy as many LSDs as you want. So consider it as if a network where you, your friends, family members, anyone, or even your company can together put up an LSD network. You fund it with all the ETH that you have, and then this LSD will be on top of Stakehouse. So in the end, after collecting all these 32 ethers per BLS public key, you will be able to send it to the Stakehouse, and which will interact with the Ethereum deposit contract, and hence you will get your validator up and running. So yeah. So LSD is a three-pool staking strategy. By this, I mean to say there are three ways by which you can fund the LSD pools, one being the node operator. So node operators are supposed to fund at least 4 ethers per BLS public key. So if you want to run multiple validators, then you'll have to put up multiple BLS public keys, and for each one, you'll have to put in 4 ethers. And there's a reason that these BLS public keys need 4 ethers each. So in the underlying Stakehouse contracts, what happens is after the derivatives are minted, so for the 32 ethers that you have, 24 will be minted as DETH, which are slash-free. So they don't incur any slashing, rather they'll be earning rewards from the attestations and proposals. 24 goes for DETH. The rest of the 8 are represented as slot tokens. Basically, they'll earn all of the execution layer fees and MEV rewards, and they are not slash-free. They'll incur slashing. So these 8 slots here, 4 will be collateralized with Stakehouse protocol. You'll still have ownership of them, but the rest 4 will be transferred directly to your wallet. So these 4 here, which are collateralized, are sort of a security. So say that you are running a validator, you're running a node, and for some reason, say that internet connection went down and your validator starts leaking. So we need to account for that. DETH is not going to account for that, obviously. So these 4 slot tokens will be the one that will incur slashing and leakage risk. So yeah, and in case of Stakehouse, the Stakehouse will be able to know that which are the validators that are leaking or being slashed, and then the one who is running the Stakehouse will be able to then call those validators. I mean, if you are a community of Stakehouse, then as a part of Stakehouse, then you can go and contact the node operator and say, hey, what's the problem? Maybe you need some help. We can help you and all. So that's the reason 4 ETH per BLS public key is provided by the node operator. When they are introduced with the LSD networks, each one of them have a unique smart wallet. So these smart wallets will collect these all of these 32 ethers and then send it to the Stakehouse protocol. So this was for node operators. The second pool strategy is for protected stakers. Protected stakers basically means it funds to the protected staking pool, and it contributes to 24 ether per validator. So 4 is already there in the node operators. 24 comes in from the protected staker. So say that you don't want to take as much of a risk. You just want to put it there. You want to put your ETH and start earning rewards as soon as your validator is up and running. Then protected staking is the best option for you. It won't get any slashing, as I said earlier, because once these 24 ethers are sent to the deposit contract and then the validator is minted, you in return will get ETH proportional to the amount that you've put up. So 24 is per BLS public key. So say that 10 of us friends together put up collectively 24, then each will get pro rata benefits of the ETH. And yeah, so those will provide you yield. And once you are satisfied with it and say that you want to exit, you can burn your LP tokens. You will get back ETH in return. These ETH can be used in any of the other protocols. Basically, ETH is similar to wrapped ETH, but it provides you yield, which I'll discuss in later sessions of today. Right. So the third pool is the fees and MEF pool, the most interesting one, I think. That's because it's a lot more complicated than what protected staking pool is, but that's okay. We'll go through it. So fees and MEF pool here. We've got 24 in protected staking, 4 in node operators. Left is 4 ETH. So these 4 ETH are from fees and MEF stakers. Basically, when you provide your 4 ETH here per BLS public key, these will act as the rest of the 4 slot tokens that were initially minted. So these will incur all those fees and MEF rewards, and they are not the direct, I mean, if there's a slashing or leakage event, then these won't get the direct hit. The first hit will be taken by the node operators because that is the one that is responsible for running a validator. So yeah, and fees and MEF also means that you are getting all of your rewards from the execution layer. So that means, that means you'll have high rewards as compared to the protected staking, obviously, but high risk as well. Other features of the 3 pool staking strategies are gatekeeping, basically. If you create your own LSD network, then you can, on top of LSD networks, put up your own logic, say KYC or anything, and say which of the node operators can join your LSD network. So say I create one, I enable the gatekeeping, and then I will have to build a logic on top of it. I'll put some KYC or some, say that I'll ask the validators to show me their previous reports on how their validators have been performing. So that's how I can do gatekeeping. Commissions, yes. So DAOs or anyone who is running an LSD network can appoint any non-zero commissions. So these commissions will come to you from whatever yields you are getting. And the other is everyone has fractional ownership, obviously. Since we've minimized this barrier from 32 ETH to 0.01 ETH, basically, so the minimum that you'll have to deposit is 0.01 ETH in protected staking or fees and MEF pool. So in this way, everyone who contributes towards the 32 ETH for a validator will get a fractional ownership. Yeah. Okay, so now that we've discussed about what LSD is, here's a bit easy. What does easy mode mean? So you've got your SDKs, and the other is expert mode. Basically, you directly go to the SDK or the smart contracts and say that you want to build an LSD network or you want to stake a validator. Then you've got a bit of coding experience, so you can work it out via the terminals or writing a code. Easy mode is directly going to the UI, and it's very easy. You'll be able to advance through it quite easily. So we've got here in the LSD easy mode, the UI, and then you can deploy your own LSD networks, set the gatekeeper or the commissions, whatever you want. SDKs are more like, I mean, if you're using the UI here, then your hands will be a bit tied, I guess, because you won't be as free. I mean, you will be able to do everything, but with the SDKs, you have a lot more things to try out and then work on with it. Right. Our contracts are MIT licensed, so you all will be able to access it later on. Yep. So Vince, you want to take it over?
Thanks, Manol. That's a really nice explanation on the three-pool staking strategy for LSD networks. The one thing, though, that is probably on the back of most people's minds is LSD is, considered bad. You look at the, the existing players in the space. You can probably count all of them on your hands. And a number of people in the community, the Ethereum community, specifically the consensus layer, have been pushing for networks to self-regulate, to not control more than 22% of the network. And the idea is that if the validators that come from any network do not control more than that, then the Ethereum network can stay decentralized because no one single party can influence the network. So the only reason we have such a push for pledges from LSD networks is because there are a small number of them. So any one of them has the ability to centralize the network, and the centralizing forces are really, really strong. But with LSD networks on Stakehouse protocol, we are actually giving everyone the ability to deploy their own network. So Ethereum can have 10,000 LSD networks instead of the handful of networks that we have. So this is aligned with the Ethereum values and ideals of decentralizing the network, so we can enjoy the liquid nature of LSD tokens from Stakehouse assets, but without the centralizing forces that come with it. And we've been building this tooling around the Stakehouse protocol since Bogota. The Stakehouse protocol allows you to do that. It's a base layer management, so anyone can use this out of the box. Like Manol said, you can deploy your own LSD network from a UI. You just set, if you're a DAO, you just specify what the DAO address is, what commission it's going to take, whether or not node runners need to be gatekept or not, if you need to KYC your users, all out of the box. But the contracts, you can modify them as well and deploy your own networks as you wish. So that's something that's really, really important for the space. Because it's built on top of the Stakehouse network, you don't have Oracle dependencies or any of the things that would normally be pretty bad. Out of the box, we're supporting client diversity. In order to run a Stakehouse validator, you can use any client, any combination. There's no special software. Take whatever you fancy off the shelf, and your nodes will run. There's no commission here, outside of what an LSD network on top. So there's no commission on the Stakehouse protocol level. There's no token required in order to stake a validator. It's ETH in, ETH out. So that's really, really exciting. There are, it doesn't just stop there. It's not just about reducing the amount of ETH required to run a validator. So there's all kind of strategies that can be built on top of LSD and Stakehouse protocol. Fixed rate markets are possible, self-repaying loans backed by the Ethereum consensus layer yield, yield-bearing stable coins, rate swapping markets, junior, senior tranches on top of LSD network giant pools. So giant pools are one of the first strategies that are going to be built on, that is built on top of the LSD network. So you can see the LSD network, the giant pools at the bottom of this diagram on the right. And giant pools allow LSD networks to provision capital. So when you spin up your own LSD network, one of the problems you're going to have is, where do I find the capital? So node operators can come in with a 4 ETH bond, but they have to find the other 28 ETH from somewhere. So the giant pool is a lender. LPs can simply supply ETH to the giant pools, and node operators from any LSD network can say, hey, I'd like to use that liquidity. I'll give you LP tokens in exchange for that, and you can claim the fees of MEV. You can claim the protected staking. I just want to run a node and claim 50% of the revenue generated by the network. So that comes there out of the box. It's really powerful, and it's really only the beginning. And actually, I'd like to make an announcement on this stage. So we'll go. I'll come back to that slide. All right. So if you've been part of our community, you've been part of the LSD journey that's been taking place since DevCon Bogota. And yeah, many people have been sort of waiting for this moment. It's there on lsd.joinstakehouse.com, so we can start building some really, really cool things and start the conversation going. LSDs don't have to be bad, and you don't have to give up ownership of your validators. Everyone that uses any LSD network should actually be asking themselves, where is my ETH? Where did it go? What validator? What do I own? What don't I own? So that we want to start that conversation. And we actually want to use LSD networks as a vehicle for launching your own infrastructure. So if you've been following the news in crypto, you will have known that Coinbase launched their layer 2 base on the Ethereum blockchain. Layer 2s are obviously an application on the Ethereum layer 1, and they're great, but layer 2s outsource their security to Ethereum, which means they need block space. Block space costs 32 ETH normally. And you need a large volume of block space in order to manage your operational costs of your layer 2. You need consistent block space availability in order to make your commitments to the Ethereum L1 blockchain. Obviously the way that you can do that is you can either acquire your own validators, or with LSDs, what we want to do is we want to give infrastructure the ability to hire validators. So validators for hire, or you know, like a fleet. You can hire an Uber fleet. So node operators, they have this 4 ETH cost. The validator is still 32 ETH under the hood, so there's no compromising on the Ethereum security. But the cost for node operators is the 4 ETH. And we want to create this programmable market space. So, like I said, it could be for layer 2s, it could be for light clients, it could be for many things. And what you get by building on top of the Stakehouse protocol is you get inbuilt information about how the assets are actually performing. So if you're a layer 2 and you depend on block space, you want to know that when it comes the turn of somebody you've hired a fleet of validators for their block space in order to make your commitments. You need to know that they're going to be there online in order for you to make your commitments. Now, things go here, there, and everywhere sometimes, and everyone does have outages, but you can build SLA agreements with your validators, and you can say, right, I expect you to be online at least 99% of the time, and if you're not, the Stakehouse protocol exposes that information through we have an ETL, a consensus layer ETL, that's scraping the information on who's online, who isn't, and that is a reportable action that can be reported to the Stakehouse protocol layer users. So where there's loss incurred for a validator not being online, the node operator can be reported. So this is a really interesting space that we're exploring here, and if you like the sort of, if you're interested in this, and you want to launch your own LSD network, right now, so if you want to set up and register a company in the United States, that's going to cost you around $600 to $1,400. You can launch an LSD network today without the development, no development required, and you can do that for $60. This is the Stripe moment. This is the plug and play. You put your own layers on top of that. And this goes back to the 60-second experience, really. You can choose your mode, as Manul said, easy mode, expert mode. You have a deployer UI. That's, you adjust your parameters there, choose your ticker, or you can go the SDK route. So SDK is just simply 2 lines: install the package, call deploy network, and provide the params, and that's it. It doesn't have to be a handful of individuals. Anybody can run their own LSD network. So yeah, that's LSD.